planning on stealing something?
No, ma'am, we're not.
Plan on murdering me in my sleep?
What? No.
Where do you get off?
Just a couple of people who totally got off, bro.
Hey, show us your basement.
What? No.
Welcome once again to Show Us Your Basement. This time you can hear our voices nice, crisp, and clear because we're all recording in person.
Yeah, baby.
Once again, we have returned. It feels like it's a rare occasion when we record in person.
Yeah, it is.
So, it's much appreciated. We've been doing these episodes through Discord, so you could see a little video element to it. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do that for this episode. We're hoping at some point we'll do that, but it's all audio for now, baby. Welcome to Show Us Your Basement. I am Alberto, and I'm joined with Edgar, Josh, and Eric. Please subscribe, share with your friends, follow us on our socials at TikTok, on Instagram, and you can also watch another of our podcasts with me, Josh, and Eric, Poor Man's Sports. Eric, give them a rundown on what that podcast is all about.
Well, Poor Man's Sports is really just trying at least to talk about sports from a poor man's perspective. I know Josh is big on that. He's actually the one that really created the name by accident. But I think our biggest hurdle, or I don't know if it's a challenge, but I think we just don't want to. We don't really want to report on the news in Poor Man's Sports. It's hard not to because that's just the way it works in that industry. So we're trying to find ways to kind of talk about things that are interesting with sports that aren't exactly the same regurgitated shit that you see every day, all day, throughout the week. So we're working on that.
Yeah, if you have a matter of opinion, which is very important, if you like to speak on how you feel as a fan of football, especially,
Right.
And you want to say whatever you want to say, then join us on Poor Man Sports.
Yeah, and I think we're going to open up a little bit during the off season because, like to Josh's point, we are heavily more into the football. Me being a lifelong Eagles fan, him being a lifelong Broncos fan. It is kind of a weird mashup, weird, unsexy alliance, but I think we're going to open up a little bit, maybe talk about some wrestling. Maybe Edgar will join us, who's on this podcast a lot. He has some knowledge on that, and we'll do our best to try to mix that up. So
I think I'm cute. I know I'm sexy. Take your shirt off, Edgar.
No, I'm good.
Oh, okay. All right.
And, look, we like to do a little thing here where we keep our guests on their toes and we surprise them. We have a surprise for both Eric and Josh that they didn't know about. Edgar and I are starting a new podcast. It's called Horror Lives On, and it's a podcast where we talk about everything John Carpenter and why the Halloween movies are great. We're going to be going through each one. No, I'm just kidding. That's not happening at all. Maybe sometime in the future, but we're not making another podcast. 3 podcasts is going to be too much. We are not Joe Rogan. We're not doing fucking 4 hours long.
Hey, a dedicated podcast shout out to John Carpenter would actually be fitting.
It would.
Because we did establish him not too long ago as
greatness. So that's a good transition. Go and listen to that episode. It's up right now on our YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. But no, today we're going to be reviewing MCU Phase 2. But before we get into that, something that me and Josh talked about that I wanted to bring up with Eric and Edgar is the theater experience. I think it's been a long time, Edgar. Would you agree? Since we've seen a movie in the theater that just knocked us on our feet. Like, when was the last good movie theater experience? That is what I want to talk about for the first 15 minutes before we dive in, because I think it's also kind of fitting with the MCU. I feel like a lot of Marvel movies come out. It's a whole experience to go and watch them and shit. What was the last time you've gone into a movie theater and you're like, the crowd was good, the vibes were good, the movie was great? It can be horror, it can be MCU, because I feel like that's lacking right now in cinema. I don't know if you heard, but AMC is doing the shit where they're letting their subscribers pick seats first.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. It's gotten a lot of controversy. A lot of people don't like that decision, and it's just a downward trend for the movie theater experience. When was the last time that you can remember the movie theater experience being like just greatness instead of basement?
I don't want to sound so like generic, but Endgame was a good one.
Yeah, I was Josh and I were talking about that too. I feel like that's
Endgame, but if we want to stay away from like Marvel and all that, the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Mutant Mayhem.
Mutant Mayhem was cool.
Yeah, that was
The whole vibe, like you said, was cool. Like, I think they had like a specific drink for it when we went to the Alamo, right? Or no?
Yeah, they had a drink. They had a little like special menu.
Yeah, so it was kind of it made it much cooler, much like involved with the movie. So
That's a good pick. I wouldn't have thought you would have said that. I thought you were going to say like Evil Dead remake. Remember we went to go see a midnight screening for that?
oh yeah, that was good too.
The theater was
Everyone-
packed.
yeah, it was
Everyone
packed.
was like screaming at the right parts. Felt like it was like one of the last great like horror experiences in the
Yeah.
movie theater. Probably Weapons also, which Eric was there for. We went to go see that movie. There were
Wow, that was
certain
cool,
scenes where people were kind of just on their edge of their seats. You can hear the like little
Oh yeah, like
murmurings.
when, what's her face? The lady was going through the car. Everyone's like, "Oh no!"
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
it's like
So
everyone reacting to it.
it's a good pick. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. All right. Eric, I'm kind of interested in what you have to say. What was the last good movie theater experience you've had? I'm talking really good.
I think the last several movies I've seen in the theater, so Iron Lung, Predator Badlands, Send Help, Weapons, I think they've all actually been pretty good because I think obviously after COVID it kind of was like a weird time for the theater experience. I do think Weapons had the most energy to it, and there was a lot of anticipation and hype going into that, for us at least, when we went to go watch it, and I really enjoyed that experience despite having to sit next to a fucking guy who wouldn't shut up, like whispering to his girlfriend the whole time. That shit sucked.
Oh, he had his fucking feet out, right?
Yeah, he had his fucking feet like touching mine, and it was just fucking weird. But I thought that was a good theater experience, but also some of the more recent ones as well. Like I thought Send Help was pretty good. I actually went to one called Wuthering Heights. That actually had a lot of people in the theater, more than I've probably since Weapons at the most.
Damn.
Maybe because it was opening weekend. There was quite a bit of people in there. It was definitely like heavily sexualized, so you could like feel the discomfort behind because I was in like that first row, like not I was in the lower section, but in the back row to the hallway. So maybe it was just like a little bit of squeamishness, but it kind of adds to like the funniness and the inner, the vibe of the movie. It was a little bit too long, but I think all my theater experiences have been really good recently. Kind of to your point, or actually to touch on your point about AMC and picking the subscribers, picking their seats. I understand that's kind of like a questionable, maybe debatable tactic, but I think anything that encourages people to go to the theaters right now is a good thing, because we were kind of on the verge of extinction there for a little bit, or it felt that way. And I think now that Netflix is not going to get the Warner Brothers deal, which is a good thing, it sounds like. Yeah. Like it sounds like they're not going to get it, which I believe is a good thing.
It is.
It's a very good thing. That, we need the theaters to stay alive. So if there's perks to go to the movie theaters, I think if it's working and getting people in the seats, we might just have to go that direction, because everything is done through an app.
Yeah.
Select it, it's kind of way it is right
But
now.
ain't all theaters do that now? Like you have to you pick your seats anyway.
Yeah, but it's like now there's like a priority
Oh.
for people who subscribe to the
Their
stub thing or
Yeah.
whatever. I don't know what the name of the subscription for AMC is, but it's kind of like that.
Oh, okay.
So,
Well, they're big with the perks.
yeah, you get like free food, free drinks,
Yeah.
right? Stuff like that.
I think Cinemark, they're all doing things now where if depending on what level you're at, you can get the food brought to you while you're sitting. Like,
That's crazy.
that's crazy to think, but that's where we're at. But again, if it keeps the movie theater alive, then
Yeah.
But is that what keeps the movie theater alive, or is it the movie themselves? I feel like there's certain movies that people go to watch regardless of like, oh, the food's being brought to me, whatever. It's like, me and Josh were talking about it. I kind of am on the fence about it, but like whenever a Christopher Nolan movie comes out, for example, you gotta go see it in the theater. You can't see it anywhere else. You can't
Not only
wait for it to
theater,
stream.
in IMAX.
In IMAX as well. So go ahead and speak on that, Josh, because I kind of have a feeling of what you're going to say with your last great movie theater experiences, but I'm curious what would you have to say.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of obviously convenience. You know, people do prefer the benefit of streaming. They want to watch it in the comfort of their own home. Yes, I think a lot of it, to your point, is there's just nothing worth seeing in the movie theater. You know,
Yeah.
I can talk about, you know, Sinners was great. Okay, saw that. Dune 1 and 2 was great.
Yep.
You know,
Toy Story 4.
Toy Story 4.
no,
I mean,
maybe,
unironically,
yeah,
that's
absolutely,
actually,
I don't disagree with that one. But when I think of great, and I'll take you guys back memory lane. I'll jump in my DeLorean, right?
All right, take us there.
Late 90s, early 2000s, you know, Lord of the Rings trilogy,
Oh, yeah, that was
Spider-Man trilogy.
Yep.
And what these movie experiences to me had was waiting in line, first come, first serve on your seat, trying to get the best seat out there. You know, the movie doesn't start for another 2 hours. You're there with a group of friends, your family, you're playing cards, you're talking, you're socializing. Yeah, you're eating there, you know. If you want my honest opinion, we've made it so convenient to the point where I don't think people want to go to the movie theaters as
true.
much.
That is true.
You know, because when you wait in line, you're socializing, you're talking, you're hanging out, you're meeting, you're talking probably to the person in front of you, the people behind you. In all honesty, I think if they want to make the theater experience, get rid of the make it first come, first serve. Bring back, do what was right back in the day as well.
Yeah.
I think that will elevate movie theaters to if you want people to wait, put in an arcade system or something like that. You know, while you wait,
Yeah.
that's a good option as well. So I think it's just the overall experience of going to the movie, the anticipation, waiting in line,
Yeah.
and then on top of it, also, you know, I wish I saw F1 in the movie theater. You know,
Yeah.
Did I care to see Predator Badlands in the movie theater?
Not really.
Not really.
Yeah.
You know, like I think that the pool of movies that have been released are just. When have you seen something that was original in the movie theater?
I think.
Okay, Weapons,
Yeah.
Sinners.
Sinners too, yeah. Sinners as well.
As great as F1 was, I felt like I was watching Top Gun Maverick to a degree.
But in car form, basically.
But in car form,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, it would have been cool to see it in the movie theater. But then I'm like at the same time torn because I'm like, it's Top Gun.
That's true.
Same director, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't want to disregard. But yeah, I just don't think, like, when was there like a heavy blockbuster that we've seen as well?
Yeah, the thing too is that like there's some things you can't control. I mean, you can control to an extent, but spoilers, I think, ruin the movie theater experience. If you're on TikTok, on Twitter, or whatever it is, if you're not careful enough, some shit gets fucking leaked and spoiled for you, and it's like, well, now I know what happens. Do I need to go watch that in the movie theater now? Like, someone's got it fucking pirated on their phone. Like,
Yeah, I was
You know?
talking to you about my experience with The Matrix. I remember watching that in the movie theater, and I think I saw it 3 to 4 times, like in a month, because I was so interested. At the time, there were, you know, no YouTube videos to kind of break it down for you. I had no idea what was going on, but I was so pulled in. I remember I think it was like my first sitting. I was so interested. I went with a group of my friends, and we're like, "Hey, you want to go to you want to sneak into the next showing and just watch it again?"
yeah, Like we ain't got nothing else to do.
We ain't got nothing to do. Let's just sit in the movie theater. You know, let's wait for the next showing and watch it again because this movie is so fucking amazing.
That's true. That's something that's missing in the movie theater experience, dude. It's like the incentive to go rewatch a movie. You know, you watch it one time, you go to YouTube, see the breakdown. Oh, that's what happens. Okay, that's what the ending means. Moving on, let's go watch the next thing. Let's go see what's on Netflix. That's it. You know, like you don't. I miss when movies you would go watch and like, oh my god, that scene was so awesome. Like I have to wait for 6 months for it to release on VHS or like DVD, but I can go watch it again just for that one scene, just so I can see that again. Like you don't get that no more, which is unfortunate. You know, Eric, did you see the Blair Witch Project in theaters? How was that experience? If you see,
I don't think I saw that one in the theater. That was in 1998. I think I was I was old enough, but I don't know if my parents would have allowed me to have gone and seen that one. And that was also during a time where I think getting into the movie theater, getting into a movie with an R-rated title was a little bit more difficult to do instead of just walking up to a kiosk and punching in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whatever you want. So I didn't see it. I wish I had. That's a movie I would have loved to have seen. But I think to your guys' point, like you guys both mentioned it, there are some movies that are curated for the theater experience, which help elevate the theater experience, which I think this is becoming less of. Christopher Nolan movies do belong. You got to see them in the theater. I agree with you there. All of them, regardless if they're good or bad, they're just curated for that.
They're all good.
They're all good. Maybe.
Tenet also.
I
like Tenet. I like Tenet.
I liked seeing Predator Badlands in the theater. I can understand why Josh is indifferent about that. I think you could have watched it from like a home perspective, but it still elevated it a little bit because there was a lot of like scenes with like high levels of action, a lot going on that definitely were captured differently from the theater perspective. So just kind of depends. But yes, I think we need better movies in the theater for sure.
Hey, I mean, look, Josh and I also talked about this. There's no competition in movies either. We are getting one this year with Dune Part 3 and Avengers Doomsday releasing on the same day.
Well, really?
Releasing on the same day. Last time that's happened was with Barbie and Oppenheimer. But you don't get that either. You don't get like multiple movies releasing,
or like big ones at the same day. You know?
Yeah, because that's what makes the theater experience also fun. It's like, all right, clear my fucking schedule. Like I'm watch the Avengers and then watch this and then watch that. Yeah, you don't get that.
See, I think that's what happened with Mortal Kombat. The second one. They pushed it. It was even though it's already done and like ready to go. I think they pushed. I forget what movie was coming out in that same.
It was coming in October, so I don't know what would be coming out in October.
Probably a Marvel movie.
Probably.
And it's like, no, let's just push it. It's like,
competition. I think
they have it. Like you said, like Barbie and.
They said that like, oh, this is a summer blockbuster, so we gotta push it so that it comes out in the summer, and it's like.
No, they pushed it because for some like.
They wanted to avoid competition. Yeah. I kind of agree with that, you know. So I think the whole point here is that people should go watch movies if they are able to. I know things are expensive nowadays, but if you are able to, go watch a movie in the theaters, man. Like, we're all on our phones, and I think it helps to kind of put it down for 2 hours, go watch a movie, and just be in that communal experience, dude. Like, that is just missing, regardless of whether it's Scream 7 or if it's the next Halloween, whatever it is. Go support, your especially your local movie theaters. That'd be even better. But that brings us to our topic for today, because speaking of blockbuster films and watching these movies in the theater, the MCU is notorious for having nothing but blockbusters, and we're here to review them. We did the first phase of the MCU last time. You can go look that up on our YouTube channel. We rated the first phase of the MCU greatness. There were some among us that were, basement on some stuff, but I think it was still greatness overall. Josh, you agree?
Disagree.
Well-
If my memory serves me right, you were the only one that ranked
Are you sure? I think
Phase 1
I think you all
as
said
greatness.
Iron Man. I think you all said Iron Man 2 was great, right? I think.
I said,
Yeah, but unfortunately, I think we'll rewatch it or re-listen to it after this podcast. But overall, there was some sprinkles of greatness from us.
yeah.
Okay, from Eric, from Edgar, from myself as well. But overall, the three of us ranked
It was
MCU
basement.
MCU Phase 1 basement. You were the only one that was greatness.
Come on, it was great. It was great. I think it was great.
Okay, Alberto.
I'm going to
Okay.
rewrite history right now, and I say MCU Phase 1's great. But let's go ahead and talk about the next phase of Marvel movies. Before we talk about each one and give each one a little bit of a spotlight, what are the movies we're going to be talking about in this episode, Josh?
So Phase 2 of the MCU, Iron Man 3, Thor, The Dark World, Captain America, Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, Age of Ultron, Avengers 2, and Ant-Man.
It's kind of funny that Ant-Man's like the bookend of the MCU Phase 2. That's kind of weird, but all right. That's kind of interesting. Let's just jump in.
All right.
Let's not waste any time. Let's get into Iron Man 3. How did we do this last time? Did we all just kind of give our
Yep.
our rating and then we just talked about it? Is that
Yeah,
what it was?
we talked about so what we'll do is we'll go through each movie. We'll give a ranking of greatness or basement on each movie, and then we'll give an overall ranking of Phase 2.
Oh, okay, that's right. Okay. All right.
Gentlemen, ready?
Ready.
All right.
Let's jump right in.
Iron Man 3. Alberto, I'm going to let you kickstart on Iron Man 3.
All right. I know Edgar's going to have my back on this. I think Iron Man 3 is great. I think it's a severely underrated superhero movie in this phase.
It's not underrated.
It is underrated.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
And the reason why I think is because it came out right after the Avengers. A lot of people were still high on that movie. And I think there was probably a lot of people who were expecting that same caliber of action and intensity that the Avengers brought. And instead what we got was a more personal story with Tony Stark. We got to see him without the suit for like the majority of the film, which I thought was such a good subversion of expectations. I think a lot of people were kind of upset at the time with the Mandarin and the reveal of the Mandarin. But I think people kind of calmed down on it. I mean, that character is still in the MCU.
For some reason.
He's in Wonder Man. He was in Shang-Chi.
Oh, was he? Oh, yeah, he was in Shang-Chi.
So I think it's safe to say that was not... They didn't kill the movie. I think that was actually kind of interesting to subvert expectations like that, making you think, oh, we're going to get the Mandarin as the villain in this movie. And it turns out to just be some fucking hokey, washed up actor or whatever. I think that was kind of cool. It being co-written by Shane Black.
I was going to bring him up, yeah.
The humor that he brought into the film, his
you
style.
can tell, like, that's his...
Working with Robert Downey Jr. once again. And just exploring Tony Stark's, like, PTSD from that whole event with like the Avengers,
which makes sense, like showing that you can say superheroes go through that too.
Yeah, I enjoyed that element of it. Him like improvising on the spot to take down, those glowing fucking
whatever
those people were. Yeah, dude, this was a fun, enjoyable film. Yes, I guess you could probably point out some plot points that were like not really as strong. The relationship with Pepper Potts and Tony Stark was just a little bit weak, a little bit repetitive, sure. But I think overall this movie was great. I enjoyed it. So I'm gonna put Iron Man 3's greatness.
You basically just summed up everything. So I'll say greatness too.
You don't have anything else to add on it, or is there anything that you liked, disliked?
I disliked the villain. Yeah, not what's his name, the Mandarin, like the main.
He didn't
one,
really
too.
turn out to be a villain, but yeah.
Well,
I know what you mean.
yeah.
I know what you mean.
The pacing was great. I liked it.
Yeah, it was a brisk, like 2 hours and.
Was it 2
I
hours?
think it was 2 hours.
Damn, didn't feel like that. So that means see.
So it's great.
Yeah.
But I know Josh was shaking his head the entire time that I was talking about that. I'm gonna not let you speak. I'm gonna let Eric speak first. Actually, I'm gonna let you wait. What do you think of Iron Man 3, Eric?
Well, thanks for calling on me to step in for Josh, because I was trying to like pull up the cast here, because I did watch Iron Man 3 recently, and I really don't understand what they were doing with this movie and how far out it felt like it was from the rest of the MCU movies in terms of like how it aligned with the story. I know it was its own independent story, but this was a little bit silly, a little bit goofy for me. He's kind of messing around, like obviously he's messing around with kind of his prototype suits and trying to figure out what's going on with that, but he has all these other suits that work really well, but yet he's like sticking to this like prototype that doesn't really work that well. And then as the movie progresses, he comes across a young child somewhere, like in a barn, just randomly. Like he just basically house invades. There's like a house invasion. Stores his state-of-the-art whatever. I don't know how much it costs. Let's just say it's like $100 million military suit with a child that he barely knows, that he trusts, right? So that's sprinkled into this movie. Like, I don't know why he did that. I don't know what the purpose of that part of the story was. I thought that they were kind of leaning more into like current events, like world events, with kind of masking the villain's purpose with like Osama bin Laden, kind of like injecting a little bit of that flavor in there with like the terrorist threats that turned out to be fake. They were like, it was a cover for something, but or it was covering a greater purpose. But still, it's just like there was nothing interesting about it. It was boring. Robert Downey Jr. carried the movie because his humor and his acting skills are on a high level. Like this just felt like I felt like he was out of place for this movie. And it's hard to believe that your boy Shane Black wrote this or was a part of writing it, because it was just not very good. Guy Pearce was like an okay, he's a good actor, really good actor. Like what they were doing with Guy Pearce, bringing him in, but he was not really like that. I didn't think his presence of being a villain was very good. It was just kind of boring. This was just a weird kind of goofy movie. Who's the guy that wears the Rhodey? James Rhodes. His character was a little bit weird, like flying around as like basically like Iron Man America, like regulating.
Iron Patriot.
Yeah, Iron Patriot. Like he's just kind of flying around, being like world police for the government or whoever needs him. And there was just moments where he's like kind of breaking into places, trying to find the
Mandarin.
And the scenes were just kind of goofy. Like. They just weren't executed very well. Like I felt no.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I felt no connection to this movie. I didn't even realize I was watching an Iron Man movie. I didn't even realize it was a part of the MCU. Like that's kind of how it felt. Like I did not feel like I was watching something that was in alignment with this great quest to save the universe and battle these great villains. Like, well, they don't really have great villains. Maybe that's why this movie was made to begin with. But it just let me down. It was just disappointing to see Robert Downey Jr. waste a lot of potential on a movie like this. And that's kind of as far. Josh is going to have a lot more to say about this that makes more sense. I'm telling you from the poor man's perspective of watching Marvel movies, because that's what I do. This was boring. It was not well acted. It was not well written, and it didn't make a lot of sense to me.
This is
Basement.
All right.
Way down in the basement. I'm not even sure what the fuck they were doing. They shouldn't have even bothered with this. They should have just waited. Did something completely different.
Okay. All right. All right. Josh, go ahead, man. I feel like I feel like you're ready to.
I feel like you really hurt Alberto's feelings.
No, I've expected this. I'm expecting this already, so it's fine.
So You say that Iron Man 3 is underrated. I heavily disagree with that. Everyone you talk to about this movie, everyone enjoys this movie. This movie actually did really well in the box office. People talk about it, blah, blah, blah. I don't think it's underrated, okay? I think it's overliked, overrated, unfortunately. This movie came out in 2013. 2013, I want you to remember that. Mm-hmm. What finished the year before? What trilogy finished the year before?
Like the
Dark Knight trilogy.
Dark Knight trilogy.
Dark Knight Rises came out in 2012. I think 6 months before this movie
that is
actually came out. That was the first superhero trilogy that came out that was grounded. Okay. Mm-hmm. Iron Man 3 tried to follow that formula. They tried to actually make this movie extremely grounded. They wanted to make it a Robert Downey Jr. movie, Tony Stark movie. Which I totally understand where Eric is coming from. He's like, is this an MCU movie? This doesn't feel different, or it doesn't feel like the other Marvel movies, because they made it different. They took the comic book, like, as much as we ranked MCU Phase 1 basement, but the flowers I want to give it is they pulled elements. It was a comic accurate phase. Mm-hmm. And then they give you this extremely grounded movie. To Eric's point, it does kind of take you out of the entire series. Now, Robert Downey Jr. does give a great performance. I do agree with that as well. But everything else about that movie, besides his performance, is really forgettable. Alberto, you were like, you know those red guys that explode, whatever they're called? You said that because the villains in that movie were extremely
awesome,
forgettable. They were not awesome. Yeah. Who were they? Where did they come from? Mm-hmm. What were their intention? Oh, Tony Stark hurt his feelings. And this is the birth of almost every villain in the MCU, just about, is that they got screwed by Tony Stark and they became a villain. Mm-hmm. And it justifies why they're in the position that they're in. So they're not really villains, you know. They're just trying to get it to the man. And let's be honest, we all hate the corporate man. We all hate the CEOs.
Yeah,
of
I'm
the
looking
world.
at one right now.
You know.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they just want to get at that man, you know. So it's like, are they really a villain? So this movie also. God.
They felt like they were just cutting corners and just trying to push out a product, because this movie made a ton of money. I think this made the most. When you look at the Iron Man trilogy, this one by far made the most money.
Absolutely.
And it shouldn't have. I mean, I understand why it did.
Not
but
underrated. That's why it's not underrated.
It's crazy.
It is heavily liked. It made a shit ton of money. But there's one thing about these villains. And Iron Man 3, I would say the first Avengers movie does this as well. There's one thing about these villains that they all have in common, okay? When we all think of the Mandarin, he is a big Iron Man villain in the comic books. Is he not? Yes or no?
I thought that he belonged to, he's a Shang-Chi villain.
That's like a redemption arc, I feel like, for the Mandarin character. But let's be honest. The Mandarin in Iron Man 3 was a huge disservice to that character.
Are you saying, I'm having a hard time believing that you think that it was a disservice, he was one of your favorite fucking villains. Who cares about the Mandarin?
Who cares about most of the villains out there? To your point, if you really want to, but who cares about Iron Man?
Remind me who the Mandarin was. Who played the Mandarin in this?
It was
Ben Kingsley.
Ben Kingsley.
Yeah, then it was Ben Kingsley, and then it was Guy Pearce at the end. He's like, I am the Mandarin.
Yeah, okay, thank you for reminding me.
And then he gets his ass beat by Gwyneth Paltrow, who gets the same powers as him. Yeah. These villains, okay, so to your point, who gives a shit about the Mandarin? In all honesty, who gives a shit about Iron Man? Iron Man was not that great of a comic book character when he first was released on paper.
Right.
Okay, no one really cared so much about him, but his biggest threat was the 10 Rings. It was the Mandarin. Okay. But the problem, and I'll talk more about this as well, is you get high level threat villains in the MCU that are one and done, and then you move on to the next. And Iron Man 3 was the start of the disservice of these high threat villains. So yeah, you can say who gives a fuck about them, but if you actually read about the Mandarin and the relationship that he had with Iron Man from a foe to a hero, it was level, like it was like the Joker to Batman.
I don't know if I
Look it up. Look it up. Hey, if I'm wrong, comment on it.
I could look it up, but look, the thing that I think I enjoyed about the Iron Man 3 that I think you guys are, I guess, didn't really focus on it was a more personal Tony Stark film, and I focused more on that element than the whole villain part of it.
I gave him his flowers. He was great.
He was, and I think
in
that's
that movie.
that's
Other
what
than
carried the film for me, and that's what I enjoyed the most of it.
You take Tony Stark out of that movie, and it's not an Iron Man movie.
Oh, but you can say
at the end of the day,
that's such a
that's the problem with doing
such a straw man argument.
That
Josh, to
is
just say that. Come on.
That is a no, not when it comes to a comic book movie. No, absolutely, it needs to feel like a comic book movie. And unfortunately, when you give me Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America,
see, this is why
Avengers, those are legitimate comic book movies. This is not a comic book movie because they tried to follow the formula of the Dark Knight trilogy.
All right,
too much.
You can bring down your voice. Look, this is why I don't really put too much stock in what Josh says, because he cares too much about comic book accuracy to the point where he fucking just lords over Zack Snyder and how he he made him more like how he's supposed to be in the Dark Knight Returns. Like, I just don't put too much stock in your, okay, and now we're resorting to talking like a child, so that just proves my point. Look, Iron Man 3 is greatness for me. It's basement for you guys. I'm not surprised.
It's not a good movie. Albert, come on, dude. You can't compare, the first Iron Man. Look at the first Iron Man, and then you look at the third one. We're not talking about the same league here.
We're not, but also it just what it managed to do still. It still was a good bookend for this trilogy, I think. It's still a pretty good, strong trilogy. It went out pretty well. We didn't get any other Iron Man movies after that. This is a good kind of epilogue to Tony Stark's arc.
I thought it was
the
the worst arc. It was a great story for Tony Stark until they made that movie. I wish I'd never seen it. It didn't have to exist.
Right.
It really didn't. It was not necessary. It tied up no loose ends. It provided no additional mystique or mystery to anything else that was going on. It was literally a side quest that was terrible.
I'm not going to be surprised if you guys say fucking Thor Dark World is greatness, because I guess up is down.
Wow. Okay.
And down is fucking black is whatever. So let's just move on. Let's move on. Let's talk about Thor Dark World.
Okay, let me start this one. I never watched it.
Neither did I. I started watching.
No, since its release, I never watched it.
We saw this. Care. I think we got it on Netflix when they still sent you the fucking DVDs.
Oh, the DVDs, yeah.
Fell asleep through it. I don't care. Okay.
That's my opinion. I never seen it.
I
know it's dog shit because it's not. No one talks about it. So forgettable.
The only time it's ever brought up is in Endgame, and I was confused by what was going on there when Thor went back in time or whatever. And then I realized it was because they were pulling from Dark World, and I was like, oh. Well, that makes sense, because that movie just didn't resonate with me. It's whatever. So, Thor: The Dark World.
It's basement. Even though
Josh, did you make the commitment to watch this movie? What did you think?
I did. I did watch it.
And did you waste your time?
It's greatness. I'm just kidding.
I was waiting for come on. Let's be real here.
It had great elements in it. There are certain scenes in it that I don't want to disregard. I think the villain was badass. Okay, I think the whole dark elf element was great. I think the killing of Thor's mother was a great scene, and you do feel for it, and you feel for it so much to where Loki catches wind of it, and he's like standing in his cell, and then he like, trashes it with his powers because he didn't have a great relationship with his father. But he had an extremely great relationship with his mother, and that's why he has the same power because she was a witch.
Oh, okay.
And then that's why he has like witch elements because he was trained in that as well. And then to the scene where Thor is like approaching him and it's like all an illusion and he's like fine and things like that. And he's like, I know you well enough with your relationship with mom. This isn't you. Show me your true self. And then everything is like wiped and he's like, the room is destroyed. He's a mess, because he's mourning the loss of his mother. Other than that, this movie is extremely forgettable. The pacing is terrible. It is fucking awful.
Can you say no one knew how to make a Thor movie? Does that make sense? Until
I think
or
I think it's a combination of what you just said. So yes, also I don't think you can really make a Thor movie. I don't think people care enough of the lore of Thor to find it interesting. I hate to say that, right? Because who was the first director? Kevin. He did like Frankenstein. He did but he's really good at like bringing in those elements based on his history. He's an English director.
You did the second one or
The first one.
Oh,
Kenneth Branagh. I can't say his name. Kenneth Branagh.
He is a good director, but bringing him in, they thought that he would be able to elevate. Like,
Excuse me. His name is Sir Kenneth Charles
Sorry, what?
Branagh.
Interesting.
and that obviously didn't help elevate the movie. And then the director for Dark World, I forget his name as well.
James Wan.
He did Game of Thrones, a lot of the great Game of Thrones stuff. Okay. So they were hoping that if bringing him in, would elevate because he did Game of Thrones and it's kind of...
He knows the fantasy.
Yeah, the fantasy side of things. And he wasn't able to deliver as well, unfortunately. It's just, I don't want to... There are certain things I do like about Thor. Unfortunately, he's just a character that a lot of Marvel comic fans don't really care about. And I hate saying that because there are certain comics that are great, but a lot of people don't care about the character, unfortunately.
I'll disagree with that in a second, but I feel like they dropped the ball on the first one. And establishing that first one, and I don't know if they were like from the get-go making it as a trilogy. I think that's what lost people's interest,
Like right
off the gate. Yeah. Then people wait for the review for this one, then saying it's not that great, right? Speaking what Josh was talking about, like no one cares about Thor, or there's like no great stories. At that time, Jason Aaron was writing it, and that's like top tier fucking Thor stories. He's done it for years.
Yeah, they didn't really pull from that.
They didn't even pull from that.
So besides that,
Yeah.
To your point, besides that story arc, okay, in the comic book side of things, tell me another good Thor.
Oh, recent when Donny Cates, when he becomes what's the word? Herald? Is that
the Herald to Galactus.
to Galactus?
That was a pretty good
That was a
storyline,
good
yeah.
little.
Give me another one.
Oh,
they had his version of like Old Man Logan, or like so it was like old Thor basically. That was it was a little mini series too, but like it's like yeah, that's it for Thor.
So you're giving me three good, outstanding story arcs, right? But when we think about like Captain America, okay, when we think of Spider-Man, even Iron Man, they have more memorable
that's true.
story arcs in the comic book side of things than Thor.
That is
And anything that is great Thor-wise, it's solely because of the Avengers side of things.
it is true.
That
It's true. He's more of an Avenger. Like anything that has to do with Thor and his like any arc that he gets is better used.
Hulk
in an
has
Avengers movie.
way more better story arcs than Thor.
I agree with that.
Yeah, okay, yeah. All right.
I agree with that. Eric, you what do you think of Thor?
Well, this is Thor: The Dark World. This is the second installment.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll do my best to try to describe this movie because I feel like I've seen it before. I saw it in Lord of the Rings once when we have elves and an epic battle at the beginning of the movie fighting over some energy source, some power source to control the universe, to control Middle Earth. And it's going to be on one character to save the day and come in and take the power back.
Yep.
Use humans as like sidekicks, even though they're inferior to everything else around in this world.
Are
Somehow,
you explaining Lord of the Rings or Thor: Dark World?
I don't know. You tell me. This is
I've
on
never seen
your
either
fucking
one.
list. This is your guys' fucking list. I had to sit and watch through this movie painfully for 2 fucking hours, and I said to myself, "Dude,
You didn't
nobody
have to.
cares about intergalactic elves,
You didn't
and this
have
is why people don't care about Thor. There was nothing about this. Nothing." About intergalactic elves in a cosmic war.
I think
that
that's
is
what-
attractive.
I think that's what
broke
also
Eric.
makes it confusing to the fan base as well, is that, they're like, okay, Thor, Loki, they're gods. They in phase 1 they're like gods, right? And then Thor 2, Dark World comes out, and they're like, oh, they're actually aliens. So it's like, are they gods or are they aliens?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like
That's not interesting to you? That sounds a lot like Batman v Superman to me.
Oh.
we're not here to talk about that.
Dude, we're not in the same. No. Stop right there. That is not a mic drop. This is a fucking
I
goddamn
didn't even
joke.
drop my mic.
This is a joke.
Batman v Superman, hate it, love it, whatever you want to say, is far on a different level
than this.
the Dark World.
Come on.
Get the fuck out of
Get
here.
outta here.
It's in the
dude.
crawl space. That's right.
Dude, look,
God.
I'm telling you, I've seen this movie before. It has the same kind of DNA, the same kind of template as watching a movie like Lord of the Rings, which is based on a book, but whatever. We're just talking about movies right now. It was very similar to that regard. And honestly, the whole story, it's like when we talked about Keeper, it's just like a story of paganism at the end of the day. It's nothing that crazy.
You also want to talk about like how Pepper Potts and Tony Stark's relationship in Iron Man 3 was like meh, non-existent.
Yeah.
Jane Foster's and Thor's relationship was fucking weird
Yeah. It was
and cringe.
That's what I said. They dropped the ball from the get go.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't even think Natalie Portman wanted to be in that movie.
Yeah.
At all. Like,
Wouldn't be surprised.
and she's like an Oscar winner. She's a great actress.
What was the purpose of Kat Dennings' character again? Because she's literally just kind of like a talking mouth that is not good. She has like little
You
jokes
really
that
hate
are
Thor
they
and
jokes? I don't know if they're jokes or not. I can't tell.
It's her kittens, bro.
Oh my god,
It's her
she's
kittens.
terrible. She's her role in this movie. I don't know about her overall as
Yeah.
an actress, but in this particular setting, she was not. I don't understand the purpose of her character being there. Why is she there? Did she know somebody? Did somebody scratch her back? Like trying to do her a favor? Let's just insert her into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Let's just throw her a bone. And her lines, you could just tell they were like, hey, just write something. I'll worry about give me whatever you want off to the side here. We'll just kind of stick them into the story, stick them into the dialogue. Like, that's so fucking bad, dude.
You do know I also don't like this movie, right, Eric? You're like coming at me like I'm saying this movie's great.
I know, but I'm just telling you.
All right,
like,
cool,
you had to
I'm on the
say the
same
Batman
page.
versus Superman thing.
Eric
That
It's
really
not
set,
true.
That's really set
he
you guys up.
passionately hates it. But yeah,
I
to
know.
Eric's point, we're not comparing apples to apples with one another.
Yeah, it's all basement for us. I think we're all just gonna agree on that. So I think let's move on because Thor: The Dark World is definitely basement.
So we can all agree this. We say this. So we went from 50-50 to 100%.
Yeah.
This movie is basement.
Yeah, well, I don't know if we were ever 50-50 with Thor.
Iron Man 3.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were 50-50.
Are you saying so far?
Yeah, so
Phase
Iron
2's
Man 3,
basement, or-
we were 50-50. And then now we're at 100%.
I still
Yeah,
think
yeah.
Chris Hemsworth played Thor well, as oddly as that
Agree. I
sounds.
do agree with
Despite
that.
how bad the movie is, you could still tolerate and watch it because he is actually good in the movie. And Natalie Portman is good as well. It just didn't stick, dude. It just did not. It just didn't. I can't be watching something 5 minutes in and think, this is Lord of the Rings.
All right, Lord of the Rings basement. Let's move on.
I'd
Let's
argue that. Come on, guys.
let's talk about the next one, which is playing right now on the TV
Oh, that-
while we're
okay.
recording. This one, I think we can. I'm hoping we'll all universally agree is Captain America: Winter Soldier. Edgar, you go first.
I think I said the what was it? Red Skull? What's the first one called?
The movie?
Yeah.
First Avenger.
Oh, First Avenger. Sorry. I think I said basement, right? So coming into this one and like, you were the one like, come on, let's watch it. I keep hearing good things. Like, come on, man, the first one wasn't so great. So the cool thing about this, I came in blindly, so that was great for me, not knowing who the villain was and Winter Soldier.
Who was the villain? Oh, it was the Winter Soldier. Then.
Yeah. And
You're making your own case over here.
yeah.
No.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes,
move
you
on.
are. You're making it for us. Thank you. You can keep going.
Eric, you know we're not in a courtroom right now because we're not sentencing these movies to death or anything.
So going in and like, I really enjoyed like this. This is what they should have done with Captain America. You know, not that 1940s and like that and all that.
That
like
whole time period.
Yeah, they should just jump to this modern Captain America.
Yeah.
They made like the Winter Soldier like what Terminator in a way, like unstoppable,
Yeah.
which was like a great villain for
Captain.
Captain America.
Uh-huh.
And this is where my boys right here, the brothers, two brothers.
Yes, it was directed by
Russo
two brothers.
Yeah.
The Russo brothers. This is
where
their
they-
entry
yeah.
point into the MCU. I think this is where we started to get a shift
Yeah, we did.
from the movies that we were getting before with Dark World, with Iron Man 3, all those other movies.
So like when they were here, like they're gonna make what was it? Infinity Wars. Like
Civil War, all those.
Do it.
This is where we started to get
Mhm.
like, okay, shit's about to get real now. They're actually
Taking it. You can,
kind of seriously
you
now.
can say yeah, like okay.
Like this is some heavyweight shit.
Mhm.
And I agree. This movie was great. It was great as like a spy thriller. I think I remember one of my friends saying like this movie feels like a Metal Gear Solid movie. Like it was like a spy thriller. Had those elements added into it. And I was like, oh, I'm sold. I want to see it now. And that's why I kind of convinced you like let's go watch it. And this movie is just perfect pacing. You know, it has the best characterization of Captain America, towing that line between what's good, what's, you know, because before he was kind of a Boy Scout. He was kind of like, oh yeah, we can't be doing that. We gotta fucking, you know, do things by the book.
Yeah.
Now we're getting a more morally kind of gray Captain
Like
America.
he
He's still
understand-
good,
yeah.
you know, but he's like, he's starting to understand that the world isn't just.
Sunshines and reboots.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. And we got some great action scenes with him and Winter Soldier. The elevator fight scene was fucking great.
Not we just missed it. The apartment one.
The apartment one, yeah. Like, is this the movie where he's like holding the helicopters at Civil War?
Oh, fuck,
It was
that's
like
good.
pulling
So
the-
good you can't even
that's-
remember.
Civil War, yeah, that's right. I mean, look, Eric, let's go to you now. Okay, let's. What do you think about Captain America: Winter Soldier, Eric?
You know what? I'm actually torn on this one. A little bit more than the first two that we talked about. Okay? Or three. Are we on two or three?
Two.
Two. No, we've talked about two.
Yeah, we're on the third one.
We're on the third one. I'm a little bit more torn on this one. I do. This again sort of feels a little bit more like a Tom Clancy movie, a little bit more like Secret Service. We're kind of working against the government. It's nothing real groundbreaking when it comes to what's kind of going on behind the scenes. I know there's like this, again, we're talking about someone trying to, it's Hydra, right? They're kind of bringing Hydra back in, and you'd think that maybe
The real villain of this movie, see?
but they didn't bring back old boy, Hugo Weaving's character in this movie, which I think maybe would have helped the movie because it would have like tied him in a little bit better than the 2 fucking scenes that he had in the entire fucking MCU. I still don't like this movie. It's kind of boring. It's not really like an original type like take on the story. I do like Chris Evans. I think he's a very good Captain America. I like Bucky
Barnes.
Bucky Barnes. I do like his character. I thought that the way that he was kind of entered in, they didn't really rush his character in. They kind of gradually brought him in kind of like midway through
That
the
slow
movie.
build.
Yeah, it was a slow build. Really good fight scenes. I liked the way that they did, the way they filmed like his mechanical arm, and that he was kind of like a very intimidating villain, despite being kind of just a man, just like him. I liked that. That was really good. I really like the actor who plays his role. What's his name? I don't have it in front of me.
He's Sebastian something, right?
Yes,
Sebastian.
Sebastian. You're right. His first name is Sebastian. He's good.
Sebastian Stan. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he's very good.
Stan.
But in the end, dude, like it's kind of a boring story. It doesn't really capture anything for me. It's again, we're just trying to save another fight to save the world, but this time from Hydra, which is just basically comprised of a bunch of dudes with money and a board member and
Robert Redford.
who's the guy, the corrupt. He's the one that's corrupt, and I still don't understand why we're forcing Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow character. Her character is just so redundant. I don't understand. Like, she does not have a superpower. She's just kind of like barely
like
getting away with her
Hawkeye, or-
life, but not really. I can't get dug into this. I'm not believing. I'm not a believer in this. I can't do it. So this is also basement for me.
Oh, man.
Wow. And I just can't do it.
Wow.
I can't.
Oh my
I'm just
God.
I'm just not that into it, dude. I can't do it.
Mic drop.
Is that
Can't
a
do
mic
it.
drop?
Can't be done.
I feel like Eric is the first person I've ever heard who said that this movie's basement, because I think it's universally praised as like one of the greatest MCU movies of all time. It is a shift for the MCU. Mm-hmm. It is a landmark for like how the Marvel movies were going to be made moving forward. I completely disagree. I think this is greatness. I mean, but I've already said my piece. I think this movie's great. Josh is shocked.
Wow. This movie has a lot of things going for it. If anyone were to tell me this is the greatest MCU movie ahead of Iron Man 1, I'd be okay with that. I would be very much okay with that. This movie has a lot of things going on with it in a good way. It was the introduction of the Russo brothers. Hearing what they did, previous, Winter Soldier, you're kind of like skeptical because they had no directorial, like big blockbuster experience before this, and seeing what they did with this movie and making it big. Okay, this is when to me, this is when the MCU blew up. And the Russo brothers were able to do that in the Winter Soldier, because every movie really did feel small, even up to Avengers. Even I would say Iron Man 3, Thor: The Dark World. This is when the movies started to actually feel bigger, larger than life. Action, acting, dialogue, and so forth, because they did a really good job bringing in Captain America, kind of throwing in little sprinkles of like that fish out of water, but not heavily
Like
focusing on it too much. And just really saying that, hey, this is a man that is out of time. He doesn't know what to do. Nothing else is important to him except what he knows what to do. And that is to be a soldier. point and go, and he'll do it. And they established that really well. Chris Evans, to me, Robert Downey Jr. was great. I don't want to disregard him, but personally, Chris Evans, to me, he was the best of this series.
Yeah.
He, especially what he did previously. Before this, you couldn't take him serious. Not another teen movie. Fantastic Four, even.
He was great in not another teen movie, though.
He was funny, but what I'm saying
he embodied a great role.
No. What I'm saying is that he went from being
like more of like a comedic
comedy to extremely serious,
spoofy comedy.
Yeah, and he's so great in it.
Don't forget Johnny Flame or whatever. He did that first, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but he wasn't taken serious.
Oh no, the Human Torch.
The Human Torch. Yeah.
Sorry.
So, whoopsies. And it's not just Chris Evans. I think actually this was one of the first movies where Black Widow was great as well. I think they actually justified her character. She actually had an important role in this, because in the beginning of the movie, you don't know whether she's with them or on the other side.
Right.
Can you really trust her?
That, yeah.
I appreciated that as well. Nick Fury, amazing. Obviously they kind of give you a full 180.
This is like the best Nick Fury movie too.
This is a great Nick Fury movie. Yeah. And it kind of justifies the things that he does. That you question, because you can't trust everything. Paranoia, he states early, is what keeps him going, and why he's so good at his job, because his best friend Robert Redford, who was also great in this movie, this movie does not miss.
Does not.
And it does not miss from being a comic book movie to being a great cinema.
Yeah.
It is so fucking good, from the action to the dialogue to the transition to the character development. Every character doesn't miss. This is greatness. If anybody also told me that this is top 5 greatest comic book of all movie,
you agree?
Hallelujah. I agree. You have to have this in your top 5, top 10 greatest comic book movie of all time. That's how fucking good it is.
All right. Look, yeah, I think I'm surprised that Eric is 3 for 3 right now for basement movies.
Is it that surprising though?
No, not really. Honestly,
I just can't. I just guess I'm just not that interested in the storyline of it.
Okay.
It doesn't feel like anything new to me. I mean, there's always some fucking corrupted, wealthy head trying to get ahead and dominate. Maybe that's relatable in today's world. Like maybe that's a more grounded approach. That's fine, but
you just can't connect.
I just couldn't get into it, and maybe I'm tainted by Scarlett Johansson's character. I just don't think she's that great, I don't know. I never saw her purpose in some of the other movies. Like she kind of felt like she was being forced in there, kind of like her counterpart Hawkeye. Yeah. Like I just don't care about him either.
Damn.
He's not in this, but.
Which is a positive?
Which is a positive. If anything, that's great. It's phenomenal. I don't got to deal with that.
All right, let's move on. I think Winter Soldier is greatness. We got 3 more movies to get into. I feel like Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, I'm actually kind of interested in what Eric has to say about Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm interested to see what you have to say about all of these. But the next one is Guardians. We have James Gunn entering the MCU now. We have a different breed of humor. This feels like a comedy movie, like the first actual
I think he was the one that started.
That really kind of kicked off the MCU humor that we're kind of used to seeing now in the more present Marvel movies. But this one, I think, was balanced really well. I think it mostly lands all the jokes. It still has a pretty good narrative arc for Star-Lord, finding his own footing in the universe, finding his family with these ragtag of different criminals and stuff like that with Drax and Groot and Rocket Raccoon and stuff. These were nobody characters in the comic books. Let's just also remember that. They took a gamble bringing Guardians of the Galaxy into the MCU.
They did.
They could have easily just been like, no, let's just move on to Avengers. Let's actually do another Hulk movie or something. Like, no,
Or they
they're
could
going
have
to
done
go.
Fantastic Four or something like
But they were like, let's do Guardians. Let's bring in the cosmic kind of pull into the MCU. And I think they nailed it. They really fucking nailed it. Like, no one was looking forward to this movie. No one cared, really, to be honest. They saw James Gunn's name attached, and they were like, okay, this is interesting. He's doing a Marvel movie. And they just knocked it out of the park. Chris Pratt, Star-Lord, he did great. Batista's Drax was surprising.
Everyone was well casted.
Everyone was well casted and well voice acted. Like Bradley Cooper's Rocket Raccoon. You couldn't put a voice to that character until up to that point. It had everything that makes a James Gunn movie. And I think it's just it's greatness for me. I enjoy it. I still go back to this movie just for the laughs, just for the fuck of it. It's still pretty great. I think it's one of the highlights alongside Winter Soldier and Iron Man 3, because I guess I'm the only feel like I'm the only person that likes Iron Man 3 here. But
What do you mean? I said I liked it too.
yeah, that's right. That's true. But so yeah, greatness for me
Same with me.
is. But go ahead, explain why though.
No, it's just like I feel like they gave it to James Gunn. Like, here, it was like, okay, motherfuckers, I'll do something with this.
Yeah.
And look, I bet you like even Marvel didn't expect that. Like, I think it was just a throwaway type of thing.
Yeah.
But what James Gunn did, like with these characters, and gave them actual character, like personalities, actually.
Yeah.
I think what he had to do too is like to grab you. This is the beginning of the film, like him dancing.
One of the best intros. I
It
think.
sets it up for you.
Yeah.
Because like you coming in with these characters, you're like, who the fuck is these characters actually?
They even make a joke about it. Like,
Yeah.
it was like, I'm Star-Lord. Like,
who?
yeah, that whole joke. Like, come on.
So
He knows what he was doing.
Yeah.
And I think he did a great job.
And to me, to this day, it's like one of those that surprised me films. Like,
Yeah.
because we were going in like, okay, we don't know who none of these characters are. I never heard of Guardians before. I was like, okay, like, all right. He said like we heard good reviews about it. Then to me, like beginning to end was a great film. So,
Josh, what do you think?
Show us your greatness. Right off the bat, I'm just going to say it. I am going to go on a little bit of a tangent. I remember when this movie was in development, and I think it was it was actually going to be released a few months. And I remember I met this guy, and he was like, "Oh, I'm so excited for the Guardians of the Galaxy." I'm going to the comic book store. I'm getting the original print. Okay, the Guardians of the Galaxy. It's going to be great. James Gunn is directing it. And then I looked at him dead in the eyes, and I was like, "Are you fucking out of your mind? Have you ever actually read a Guardian of the Galaxy comic book? It's fucking dog shit." And if you actually read the original print, I believe when it was released in 70s, 80s,
Yeah, around there.
that wasn't even the Guardians of the Galaxy.
it wasn't.
It was like a totally different character. Nobody cared about them. It was fucking awful. Okay? Now, to your point that we made earlier, you talked about this as well, Thor. Okay? It's hard to make a Thor movie, but I would also say that a director has a lot to do with it as well. Because James Gunn brought in these characters. He made it work. The humor was great. The music was so iconic. And he actually rebooted the Guardians of the Galaxy in the MCU. That's how great this
propelled
was.
them into
Absolutely.
popular.
Yeah. These are characters that nobody cared about. It was a throwaway band of misfits. They weren't relatable. They weren't fun. And James Gunn was able to take them and make them fun, make them relatable, and turn them into a bunch of heroes. And this is when, to me, the punchlines, the one-liners, the jokes were finally executed well.
Yeah.
And out of all the directors in the MCU, and that's one thing that I really hate is these like punchline jokes that just kills a scene for you. He is able to deliver that
Yeah.
the right way
Like balance it well.
and balance it well.
Yeah.
You know, and to make Star-Lord, Chris Pratt's character the main focus, and to bring in a human individual, and to start with that opening scene when his mother is dying with cancer, elevated that movie and made it even more relatable, because I think one of the biggest obstacles he probably ran into, because I don't think in the comic books Star-Lord was actually human. He didn't come from Earth. I think he was an alien from another planet. I may be wrong. Please correct me if I am. But he was actually able to change his origin and state that he was from Earth, simply so that we as viewers can relate. You know, bringing in that one Earth with a bunch of alien misfits, so that we can actually relate with these characters. And it was just so smart. It was executed really well. I will say this was actually a sleeper. But I will say one thing, okay? What makes this movie so great is it didn't feel like a Marvel movie. It didn't. It felt like watching like a fantasy Star Wars movie, which I was okay with, you know, but still bringing it into the MCU. Does that make sense? Like that's how well James Gunn is. You know, Iron Man 3 did not feel like an MCU movie. Okay, and I feel like it devalued it in a lot of ways. This did not feel like an MCU movie,
but it earned its place as one.
But it elevates it, and it was still able to actually execute it movie after movie.
All right.
I'm nervous about this one.
Me too.
Winter Soldier?
What do you mean movie after movie? Are you talking about with the Guardians of the Galaxy
I would
timeline,
say the
or just the MCU timeline in general?
MCU, like bringing them into Infinity War, bringing them into slightly into Endgame, and so forth.
All right, listen. Guardians of the Galaxy is by far one of the better movies in the entire
thank God. Okay.
MCU, just on its own.
Breathe. All right, cool.
So this is one of the few ones I've got that is great.
We still have room though. He's gonna.
Oh, I know.
Look,
Is it greatness or basement, Eric?
it's greatness. I'll just tell you, it's no surprise. Look, it's greatness. To your point, it's interesting how you can take. I think it was great because they really had nothing going for them. So I think this was like easy to softly introduce to people on their MCU plate. And I think that they really worked with kind of more of like a Star Wars feel. Like it felt like this is what you should see from Star Wars in today's world. Or in like if you were to recreate Star Wars, it would look like this, right? Kind of. So Guardians of the Galaxy, look, you guys have already done like a lot of the more detailed explaining of it. I do think Guardians of the Galaxy is greatness. Love the music. Chris Pratt was great. It was casted perfectly. The characters are very relatable. There is a comedic side to it that blends still with kind of the action and adventurous part. And I think it's the adventure kind of combined with the action that really kind of like drew me in, along with like that nostalgic take on the music. And that might have been one of the biggest factors of it being kind of successful, because it really like played into the kind of like its energy. So I thought it was really great. Really good characters. It was fun to watch. You had somebody that you wanted to kind of cheer for, like that underdog feel. These guys kind of came out of nowhere. So they did really great job at like capturing that. Unfortunately, they did not do that in its succeeding films, where they were just fucking horrible in kind of the same fucking thing. It was the same shit, dude.
Really?
Hold your horses. We're not even talking about them
I
yet.
know. I'm just going to say it
the
now.
hell?
I'm going to throw it out there.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and 3.
Oh, fucking horrible, dude. I'd rather just fucking...
Can we just go to
I'd rather not
Age of
deal with. I
Ultron?
don't even want to. Don't ever.
Can
I don't ever
we
want to
go
talk
to
about
Age
it.
of Ultron, please? Let's just move on.
Yeah.
Let's just move on.
Yeah,
Let's just
Hold on, just to top it off though.
sneak peek.
I'm with you guys. Not much to talk about. I think it could have been its own film, its own journey. And I kind of wish they would have done that more. But I understand. You got to try to tie them in. They did a great job tying them in. I will give them that. The way they designed the MCU and tying these kind of like band of misfits, to Josh's point, into this story and injecting them, it worked great, and it was great.
I think what the problem is that Eric is really heated because he's watching The Winter Soldier as he's talking about these movies, and it's like it's actively like making him.
It's actively bothering me.
Like making his blood curl. I think.
Yeah, it's making my blood curl, and oh god, see, this is what I mean with
I think we need to turn off the TV. Probably. I think it's what. I'm surprised.
Guardian of the Galaxy, greatness.
Okay.
I don't think that rating even matters.
But hey, it does matter. And you want to know why it matters? Because we're going to see Guardians of the Galaxy, the way that was designed, they want that again. People want to see something like that again. You can see it. We've talked about this. I don't know how Supergirl's really going to look, but you have a feeling that they're trying to kind of go for that energy.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to work, but if it does, it will be very good. If it sticks the landing. I don't know if it will, but that is thanks to a movie like Guardians of the Galaxy. So it does open up this door of like science fiction, cosmic heroism that is fun. So good for them. Greatness.
All right.
And you guys are still kind of unsettled over here.
Yeah.
Jesus. You guys are soft.
Yeah. Softies.
You're fucking surprised too. I don't know what you're talking about. Age of Ultron. I think it's Basement. It's not as good as the first one. It's worse than the first one. I've told Josh this. Age of Ultron is fucking awful. It is just. I have no idea. Like even when I went to go watch it, I remember thinking I'm disappointed in having seen Age of Ultron.
Bullshit. You were fucking hype yourself up.
Yeah,
like every
no, but
day.
but the thing is that I was disappointed by that movie when I watched it.
Oh.
That it made me go to the comic book store to read something that was better than that. That's when we started collecting comic books at that point. Because I had to get the taste out of my mouth of Age of Ultron. They dropped the character with Ultron. I think James Spader was actually pretty good.
Agree.
Like he was voiced he voiced him really well. But you have such a tonal shift. Like the trailers made it seem like this was gonna be like, damn, Ultron's gonna fuck them all up.
So that's the problem with the MCU and why I said they do a disservice to the villains. Okay, they give you Age of Ultron as a perfect example of that. Mm-hmm. They give you this big bad. Okay, and yes, James Spader delivers. Yeah. He is fucking amazing in this movie. High level threat, almost destroys the world, and then he's just one and done.
Yeah, like Vision kills him, right? Or
easy. It's an easy kill. And keep in mind, too, guys, at this point, the Russo brothers were not in line to direct the Infinity Saga.
No. This is directed by Joss Whedon, which is
Josh Whedon was actually projected to direct every Avenger movie, but he fucked this movie up so much, and I heard that he was so difficult to work with that they removed him from it.
That's my boy. I'm just kidding.
All right.
But yeah, like the jokes again don't deliver.
Especially the contrast with Guardians of the Galaxy's humor,
Yeah.
and then they're going with this.
Josh Whedon, his humor is distasteful and immature. You know, he does the same thing over and over in every movie. You know, with a guy falling on, a girl's boobs. Ha 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 ha. He does it with, Bruce Banner, Black Widow. Their relationship was weird. They when you go from Winter Soldier to this Captain America, it's kind of weird too because, they delivered the fish out of water really well in Winter Soldier, as I was saying, but then they go back to him just being this like old, like Boy Scout, old man. Oh, don't cuss, guys.
Yeah, don't swear, guys.
Don't swear. And I'm just like, come on.
Take your vitamins.
Yeah,
That's Hulk Hogan, bro.
Yeah. So, but I will tell you, I won't go too long, and I'll end it at this. When I did watch this movie, I left the movie theater wanting to like this movie because it did have great scenes like that intro scene when they're like the Avengers are assembled
Oh, yeah.
for the
Coming
first
back,
time,
yeah.
and then that ending scene when they're fighting all of the Ultrons.
Yep. They're trying to recreate that like one.
Yeah.
The other 360.
So iconic, great visually, but yeah, super unsatisfied.
Dude, yeah, the best scene was them trying to lift up Thor's hammer. Remember that?
Oh, that was
Like,
cool.
That was great.
That was great. And then
Who was close? Was it?
it was Captain America,
Yeah.
and then Thor had that like look on his face. So yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
his basement. It all does all come full circle. All right, now let's all just
Are we
cover
all
our
basement
ears and let's see what
that-
Eric has to say.
Oh, are you basement? Your basement?
Yeah, yeah.
Basement.
Actually,
Look,
And Eric is crawl space on this one.
I'm with you guys. I really liked James Spader as voicing what could have been maybe a great villain. Had a little bit of Terminator vibes. I liked the artificial intelligence dynamic in that aspect. But to your guys' point, it lacked dominance. It was more of, well, he was artificial intelligence at the end of the day. I think looking back at it then versus now, it kind of makes more sense. I think people were looking for more of like a Terminator, like a brute force, like taking out, like being in the battle with the characters. But I think ultimately it's what we see now. It was using the intelligence factor to try to dominate and take over the world. And yeah, I think that left a weird taste in people's mouth, a lack of kind of brute force coming from the villain. So I think that really diluted what the movie was. I think it almost makes more sense now watching it. So I kind of thought it was okay, but in the end it was in the basement. I wasn't moved by it. It didn't move the needle really from the first one either. I think they're kind of on the same plane, but I do feel like I understand the character Ultron more now in today's age when we look at where we're at in society with moving forward with artificial intelligence and how it incorporates into our lives. Now it makes more sense on why that movie was what it was that long ago, which is interesting. So it's kind of interesting to think that their writing was actually was a little bit more accurate, I would say, than maybe just going the Terminator route where it's just this indestructible machine when really the machine was indestructible because of how intelligent he was and he could just rebuild himself. So there was parts that were good with it, but in the end, no, this felt like, well, just another fucking, we're going to pump it out of the factory, throw it out there, we're going to sell it, make a lot of money. Way to go.
Boy, did they make a lot of money.
And they made a shitload of money. Good for them.
So this is basement for...
Basement.
Okay. All right. We are now with our last film in the MCU, Ant-Man, which was originally supposed to be written, directed. I think it was partially like co-written by
Edgar Wright.
right?
Yep.
But
He
not.
did that scene
He did do that. Yeah, like a test footage. Yeah, or
that they
something
used
like
in the movie as well.
that. But unfortunately, he did not direct it. I forget who did direct it, but
James Wan.
but we finally get Ant-Man into the fold.
Another
Paul
character,
Rudd. Yeah, another nobody character that no one cared about, and they brought him into the MCU. What did you think of Ant-Man?
It was pretty good, actually.
We can't.
Oh shit! It was pretty good, actually.
Pretty
I
good?
enjoyed it.
Does greatness? Let's just say that. For you.
Oh yeah, because there's no in between, so it's greatness. Like I said, they introduced like another character. Like I said, no one cared about. They gave him character, someone to not relate to, but like in some ways, because he was a criminal, right? He
Yeah,
went
like
into houses and shit.
kind of like reformed. Sort
Yeah.
of. Yeah.
You can feel like it had Edgar Wright like touches in some scenes. I feel like that's what they kept from him, and especially that scene that everyone knows about with the gun and like.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I think this movie was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I like how they played with the, like the final fight was like in a fucking little toy train.
oh, the little train thing, yeah.
But since they're so small, the whole
Yeah.
scaling of things I enjoyed that. I thought that was pretty fun. Yeah, the villain was kind of who cares, right? The Hank Pym and like her daughter, their whole like tension. I didn't really care much for that, but I think it was carried with Paul Rudd, just how charismatic he was. The humor was also, for me, on point. I don't think it was inoffensive or offensive. It was kind of just whatever. It was fine. I enjoyed it. I don't know why this is the one that ends the MCU, like Phase 2, but whatever. It's. I thought it was great. If we're gonna go greatness or basement, I'll put this in greatness.
Yeah.
I'll watch it once and I'm done. That's what I'll say. But it's greatness. Josh, is this basement for you?
So there are a lot of elements of this movie which do make it fun. It's kind of daring and interesting that they went away from Hank Pym, and they made him this like guy who's been around for quite some time. And to bring in the second Ant-Man, Scott Lang. Michael Pena was great in this movie. Hilarious. His storytelling was executed so well. This is the typical formula. When you watch this movie, at this point, I can tell you they were like, they forgot about Iron Man 1. At this point, because this is just a blueprint of Iron Man 1, is all it is. You have a suit that's been around for quite some time. Obviously, another company's trying to recreate it, and then you have Yellow Jacket. Holy shit! And then they fight at the end, and then yeah. So that's my problem with this movie. Is it was not original. Yeah. It was so unoriginal to the point that they used it in the same fucking series, okay? Yeah. Hoping that you would have forgotten, okay? Talk about playing it safe to the max, in my opinion.
This is a safe movie. That's actually
a very safe movie. And to also say that Hank Pym has been around, okay? Why wasn't he in Winter Soldier? Why was he mentioned in Winter Soldier? Why was he not mentioned in, the first Avenger? Why was he not ever mentioned? He was it was just kind of a throw-in that was never talked about because they didn't know what to do with the character. And Paul Rudd is fun, he is enjoyable, but the whole just recycling the formula, and again, the MCU has a bad rap for this. They use the formula of being high and mighty, being humbled, and then redeeming yourself to you have a suit, I'm trying to remake it, and then a final battle between the same suits. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna have to say this is basement. This movie is basement. If you take Ant-Man out of this entire series, I'm okay with that. Right. The MCU can be with or without Ant-Man, unfortunately, and that's how extremely underwhelming it is to me. So I'm gonna have to say basement.
Go ahead. Eric.
This is a strange one for me, because everybody that just spoke on this, you guys all make very good points about the movie. It's a safe movie. To Josh's point, it's a retread. It's a blueprint of an already done movie. It's very simple, but because it's a character that you don't really know or care about, there's zero expectation for it to be good, which gives it a lot of room to be good, believe it or not. And I actually found this movie to be very entertaining. I didn't really value it as the character pertains to the MCU. I didn't really value it that way. I didn't think, to his point, it could be with or it could be without, but as its own movie, Paul Rudd is an easy watch. Michael Pena, great in the movie. Mm-hmm. I actually thought Evangeline Lilly was okay. She's not terrible. She was a good love interest. I really did like the way they displayed when he shrunk down to when he when they were fighting on the toy at the Thomas the Tank Engine train set. That was actually pretty unique and not as ridiculous as I thought it was going to be when I was watching it in the moment. It seemed to fit the tone and the energy of the movie. It would just not come out of nowhere. It didn't surprise me in the least because I think Paul Rudd brings that kind of energy to the role. I think he's a guy that you can see shrinking down into a miniature-sized person and fighting on a Thomas the Tank Engine train. That's just Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
So it actually fucking worked. The villain was weakish. You at least had something to look at the end when they were fighting. He put on the suit. He matched the same kind of power, so you did have something to kind of like look at and grasp on and have like a visual, like, oh man, look at him in that suit. So at least it gave you a little bit of that. I actually thought this movie was greatness. But only because it was just kind of, there's no expectation. I didn't know what to expect watching Ant-Man. Not interested at all in the character, but for some reason they delivered it well. But there was, again, it's just kind of easy. They just used a blueprint of an old movie, but at least they did it okay. At least they like executed it pretty well.
Yeah.
It was simple though, right? And it was casted okay.
Wow, we went from Winter Soldier being basement to Ant-Man being.
I know.
greatness.
It's crazy, but that's just it though. Like, it's a different expectation.
Yeah.
It's just a different character.
Hey, you said Ant-Man was greatness too. Get out of here.
Yeah, you said it
I'm
was
just
great.
surprised that he thought it was also great.
Well, it was simple. I could kind of put myself on autopilot and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Where
Like
I felt
Josh
like
said, I think it's a safe movie.
it's a safe movie. It's a safe movie. But I do agree. Like, it could, dude, who cares if the guy is in the MCU or not? At least, here's what I'll say. This is where Marvel does get the tip of the hat in comparison to DC. They at least made this guy a fucking movie and established his character,
Yeah.
which they did not do with Ben Affleck, which they should have done, looking back. Right? So at least they did that. At least they created something.
They did. It was called Batman v Superman.
But you know what? I mean, a solo film.
Yeah.
A solo film where it's just him and you're just kind of building it around him. They at least did this for Ant-Man while still injecting, who was the guy in here? The Falcon. Like, he made a quick
he was in
appearance
the
in the
movie,
movie,
yeah,
which
yeah.
is fine. Look, they did it right. There's one thing that Marvel does do really well. They're organized. They are not super confusing when then they intertwine all these storylines together. They actually do very well. It's just when it comes to that. So I wasn't left feeling confused. So that helped me watch the movie to make sense of it.
I was confused.
So,
Oh my god.
It's like Ant-Man has been around since like World War II.
right.
Oh, okay.
Guardians of the
all
Galaxy.
right.
The Guardians of the Galaxy
Okay.
is older than you and I, but they found a way to fucking put him in there. So they found a way to put Guardians of the Galaxy with this fucking guy.
Yeah, but they were established in Guardians of the Galaxy. Ant-Man was established since World War II, and we never even heard about him.
well, 'cause
And we
nobody
had a
gave
war
shit.
movie.
That's fair. Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody gave a shit about him.
All right. I mean, look, that's it. That's it for Ant-Man. That's it for the MCU Phase 2. And we gotta
God.
rank the whole thing. I get the feeling though that that this is another one that's basement.
Why do you say that, Alberto? Let's not talk about basement. Well, what do you think?
I think it's greatness. I think
You
MCU
think
Phase 2 is
You're
great.
2 for 2.
Yep.
Phase 1 was greatness. Phase 2 is greatness. Okay.
Because
okay.
it gave
all right.
us the Russo brothers. It gave us the Winter Soldier. That movie was monumental.
They gave us 2 good movies.
and I
in
think
Phase
those are,
2.
No, they gave us 3 good movies. Iron Man 3, which you guys don't want to fucking
That was
I don't want to
not
get into
a
that,
good movie.
but- and they gave us Ant-Man. If we're going off of
Not
what my
a good
rankings
movie.
were,
You just
we're
said they
going
gave
Iron
us
Man
2
3.
bad movies.
2 bad movies, but still out of like what? Ant-Man was great. Iron Man 3 was great. Guardians of the Galaxy was great. Winter Soldier was great. That's 4 out of, I would say,
5. No, Thor was bad.
Thor was bad and Age of Ultron was bad.
Yeah.
Still think it was a great phase for MCU. I'm gonna say greatness, but I'm sure you guys say basement.
Go ahead,
Definitely.
Go ahead, Edgar.
Who's gonna go?
Go.
Oh, me?
Go.
What's your
Yep.
ranking for the whole thing?
This is a tough one, actually.
It's not that tough. It's not
Basement.
that tough. It's basement. There it is. See?
You going basement?
Wow, Edgar. Why is it basement? Why is it basement? Is it because Thor was so bad?
And Avengers was bad.
And Iron Man 3 was bad.
And that was good, actually.
That was the worst one.
It's funny because you have the same rankings and
Yeah, you said only 2 of the movies were basement, but overall they were so bad that it made Edgar much respect. I love you to death. Keep doing you.
It all
Alberto
came down
has
to the,
no
it all
idea what
came
he's
down to
fucking
the
talking about.
Avengers.
Yeah, actually.
Because that's where they assemble, right? I mean, if that's not any good, then
Yeah.
it
Well,
kind of taints the whole thing.
I don't know if I want to hear your guys' ranking, but just go ahead.
Yeah, you say all these great movies, but Iron Man 3 was basement. Thor was basement. Thor was so bad. I don't know. Crawl space? What's below crawl space?
I don't even know.
Core, the Earth's core. Age of Ultron, basement. Ant-Man, basement. Right? It gave us 2 great movies. Okay? Guardians of the Galaxy, Winter Soldier. I don't want to disregard those movies. Those are peak MCU in my opinion. But overall, yeah, Phase 2 is basement. It is still not. We're not looking good. We are not looking good, Alberto. Eric.
I don't even know why you asked me.
What?
Why do you ask me?
I know.
I'm
That
in
was
the
too-
basement
that
with
was,
this, obviously. I've been in the basement. Though there's things that are good about it, still in the basement. It's funny how the 2 kind of offshoot character movies were the ones I actually liked. Guardians of the Galaxy and Ant-Man. But other than that, like when you look at the heavy hitters, I could not get behind the story. I couldn't get into it. I kept fucking like cringing as I'm watching. I'm like, this is just fucking so goddamn bad. Like, get the fuck out of here with these characters. Like, Falcon, you suck. Black Widow stinks. Chris Evans is a little fucking weird and goofy sometimes.
All right, hey, they're not here to defend themselves. You can't just be shitting on them.
Basement,
like that, okay?
Phase 2.
Okay.
It actually made The Incredible Hulk look like a great movie.
Oh,
That was greatness. I don't know what you're
I'm
talking
almost
about.
thinking about switching and saying that is
Yeah.
greatness.
I'm no longer going to be on Poor Man Sports. I think I'm just going to go ahead and just quit. No, look, I want to hear what people have to think about the MCU Phase 2. So go ahead and drop your comments down below on this video. I can't be the only one that thinks that this is greatness. I know there's other people out there who think that this phase is also really good, but I'm looking forward to MCU Phase 3. Do you know off the top of my head what are we looking forward to for MCU Phase 3 before we sign off, Josh?
All right. Phase 3. Civil War. Doctor Strange. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Spider-Man Homecoming. Thor Ragnarok. Black Panther. Avengers Infinity War. Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Captain Marvel.
It looks like we're about to enter a peak era of the MCU, Phase 3. That is Phase 3?
That is
That's a
Phase
lot.
3.
Fuck me. All right.
Okay.
I don't know if we can watch all those movies, but I'm pretty sure we can still talk about them.
Absolutely.
So look forward to that in about 3 months when we come back together again to record another Show Us Your
We
Basement.
will have this done before Doomsday, guys. We
Yes,
promise.
hopefully. But until then, thank you guys for listening to Show Us Your Basement. Like I said, follow us on all our socials, like, subscribe, and share, and all that stuff. And as always, we're gonna have Eric sign us off. Go ahead.
Yeah, go Birds and MCU Phase 3. Check it out. It's likely going to be basement also.